class. Okay. Next, classification of IC engines based on fuel used, based on thermodynamic cycle, based on number of strokes, based on method of ignition, based on number of cylinders, based on the position of cylinder, method of cooling. Okay, so there are 7 types which we had discussed. So now coming to the next topic, we have to discuss about the working of a spark ignition engine or SI engine. Okay, the petrol engine is also called as spark ignition engine because the ignition of fuel takes place by a spark, whereas diesel engine is called as compression ignition engine or CI engine. Why? Because the ignition of fuel takes place because of the compression of the air. Okay. So first we will discuss about the working of the petrol engine. Okay. So the first thing that takes place is the intake. So this is the inlet valve. Okay, this is the spark plug and this is the outlet valve. Okay. You can see this is the outlet valve. I'll name it as O. This is the inlet valve I, and this is the spark plug. So these are the 3 important input components. Okay. So what happens during the first stroke? The inlet valve moves down and it allows the air fuel mixture to enter into the cylinder. Here what happens? There will be a fuel tank. Okay, fuel tank. So in which fuel, that is petrol, will be stored. From there the fuel moves into a carburetor device called as a carburetor. What happens in a carburetor? The air will be taken from one end via an air filter. Okay, air and fuel will be mixed here, then it will be let into the engine cylinder. Okay, just by crude method I am explaining you. So the detailed functioning of this carburetor fuel line will be studying in module 4. Okay, so fuel and air will be supplied to the carburetor. Carburetor prepares a uniform mixture of air and fuel, then it will be supplied to the engine during the inlet stroke. The piston moves downwards, you can see here, so that a vacuum will be created. This valve opens and the fuel enters in. Now during the second stroke, okay, compression stroke, first one is the intake. During the second, that is the compression stroke, the inlet valve gets closed, outlet will be obviously closed. The piston moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center, from bottom to top, so that the air fuel mixture whatever is present in this gap will be compressed. At the end of the compression stroke, it will be completely compressed. Okay. Next, before the piston reaches the top dead center, the spark plug, whatever it is present here, which is the third input component, gives out a spark. Okay, there will be a timing belt mechanism which will time. Okay, when should the cylinder 1 fire, 2, 3, 4, at what point of time spark should be given? It will be preloaded, so that at exact moment when the compression stroke is getting ended, a spark will be given. So what happens here? We have air and fuel mixture which is compressed, ready to ignite. When a fire is given, it catches fire and it burns completely. Okay, so that the pressure and temperature in the chamber increases, so that the piston will be moved or pushed downward. Okay, so during the last exhaust stroke, what happens? The piston starts moving up. Okay, so that the outlet valve will be open. Whatever the remainings are there, burnt gases and unburnt particles of fuel, they will be pushed out. Again, it comes back to the first stroke. So to get one power cycle here, 4 strokes: intake, compression, expansion and exhaust. 4 strokes are required. It's called as a 4-stroke engine. 2 complete rotations are required, so that it is called as a 4-stroke engine. So this is the working of a petrol engine. Okay, I hope it is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, please take down this sketch. Whatever we discussed now in a simple sketch I have put up. Why? Because you cannot draw this in the exam, literally. So this will be much easier. This sketch for exam point of view, it will be much easier. Intake stroke, only the air fuel mixture is coming in. Okay. Stroke 1, fuel air mixture introduced into cylinder through inlet valve. Okay. Stroke 2 will be compression. Stroke 3, at the end of stroke 2, fire will be given, ignition will be given. so that it is called as a power stroke. So this is the important part where we get power output because of burning of fuel. Okay, stroke 4 will be product gases pushed out of the cylinder via outlet port. Okay, so please make a rough sketch of it. I'll just give you 1 minute time. So this is regarding working of a petrol engine. Please take down. Okay, I think you have taken down, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a simple animation so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, you can see what actually is happening in stroke. There, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are constantly changing. See, during 1, what happens? The piston moves downwards. Only this part, only the inlet valve will be opening. So it is a cam operated. Whenever this sharp tip comes here, okay, this moves down so that air fuel will be given. So it is all timed. A single timing belt will operate the spark plug and these two valves. Okay. During 1, you can clearly see only this the valve will be moved down so that fuel enters. During 2, only piston moves up. During the stroke 3, a flash comes out here, that is spark is given out. And during the stroke 4, this cam will push this so that the outlet gases will move. So this is the functioning of a petrol engine. Hope with this sketch you can understand it very clearly. Okay. So next we will move to the, this is one more, how the cam, that is how the valve operates. It's a spring loaded valve and a cam will be continuously rotating. Okay, whenever the tip of the cam comes to the spring loaded valve, automatically the valve will be pushed. So just to make you understand, I have downloaded some animations and I have added so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay. Now we have discussed about the working of a petrol engine. Next is how a diesel engine works. Okay, it is also called as compression ignition engine. Why compression ignition? Because ignition takes place by compressing the air. Okay, so please make a rough note of this sketch. Again, this is all, this sketch also I have selected such that it will be easier for you to reproduce in the exam. Okay. So please make a note of it. I'll explain you the working concept. Okay, so coming to the working of this diesel engine, again through the inlet port here, only air will be taken. You can see here, okay, from a air filter, only air will be sucked in during the inlet stroke. The piston moves downwards. Okay, during the compression stroke, only air will be compressed to very high compression ratios in the range of 1:18 to 1:22. Okay, depending on the type of engine, that is, it will be compressed 18 times. Okay, so when the piston reaches the top dead center, almost at the top dead center, there will be a fuel injector. Here there will be no question of any spark plug. Instead of spark plug, there will be a fuel injector. The fuel injector will spray the fuel. Okay, it will be in the form of a mist. Okay, small droplets will be formed and it will be sprayed into the compressed air. See, the air will be compressed to very high compression ratios, so that the fuel, the air temperature, whatever is there, that will be higher than the fuel self-ignition temperature. Okay, we call it as SIT. Okay, self-ignition temperature. What is the self-ignition temperature? Okay, the temperature at which the fuel catches fire by itself and starts burning. Right? So that is called as self-ignition temperature. So what happens here, when you compress the air to very high compression ratios, the temperature will be very high, and also you will be injecting it through a injector wherein it comes out as a fine droplets. So once it comes into the airstream, immediately these droplets will catch the fire and will start releasing the energy. For a very fractional time, the complete fuel gets burned and you can observe the power stroke wherein the piston will be pushed downwards. Okay, in the exhaust stroke, whatever the burnt out gases are there, it will be pushed out as usual. Okay, so this is the principle of operation of a compression ignition engine, that is a diesel engine. The name compression ignition or CI engine is given because it is mainly because of the compression of air. Ignition takes place mainly because of the compression of air, whereas in the first case, ignition took place only because of the spark. Right. So this is the principle of operation of a diesel engine. Right. So air is compressed to very high compression ratios. Temperature increases. When the temperature peak is reached, the fuel will be sprayed. It catches fire and gives out a power stroke. I hope you are understanding. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this is regarding the working of a diesel engine. This is the most basic concept. So in this module, we will be detailedly studying about the various components of an engine. Okay. So before starting, some of the common phenomena, we will be using CI, SI terms here and there. So we have discussed about the operation principle of SI and CI engine, so that you are familiar with that. Okay. Now next, components of a IC engine. So any internal combustion. Again, what is this word IC? Is the next question. IC means internal combustion engine. Okay. So there are certain external combustion engines also. They were used in olden days, wherein combustion takes place in an outside cylinder and the power will be supplied directly to the out. Okay, through a shaft. So fuel will be so if this is the actual engine, the fuel will be burnt out and the power will be given for the engine. So this concept were there in olden days, EC engines, but now only IC engines we can find because of their compactness. Okay, so in steam generators or such cases, the external combustion engines were used. Okay. So the IC term means internal combustion. The fuel is burnt inside the cylinder, engine cylinder itself. So it is called as IC engines. Okay. So either it is a SI engine or a CI. SI means spark ignition, CI means compression, petrol or diesel. So either it is a CI or a SI engine, it has certain common components. Okay, it has to take in the fuel along with the air. Obviously, without air, combustion cannot take place. So air and fuel to be taken place, and through some mechanism, it has to catch fire and energy should be given out. The concept of overall principle will be same. Working mechanisms and components will be different. So these will be the common components, whether a petrol diesel engine or a diesel engine. Cylinder should be there, piston, connecting rod, crankshaft. These are the common components that will be used. Along with that, valve and valve actuating mechanisms. Just for a while, I'll just go back. One second, I'll go back to the animation so that these parts we can see clearly. See, in this sketch you can see. So this is the valve and valve. This is the valve. This is the valve actuating mechanism. So this is the cylinder, piston. One second. Okay, you can see in this sketch, this is the cylinder, one of the common component. So this is the crankshaft. This is the piston, inlet and outlet valves. So the spring loaded valves you can see here. Okay, and these two are the valve actuating mechanisms. So these will be the common components, whether it is a petrol engine or a diesel engine, doesn't matter. So these are some of the common components. Okay, so whether it's a petrol or a diesel engine, these are the common components, right? So in this sketch also you can clearly see. So this I have taken an example of a petrol engine, right? Yeah. So this is the cylinder block. This is the cylinder block. This entire region. This is the crankcase wherein the oil is stored for lubrication. This is the crankshaft. Crankshaft. There will be a shaft. This is the connecting rod. Connecting rod. This is the crankshaft, and this is the crankcase. Piston. Cylinder block. Okay. This is the intake valve and outlet valve. These are the valve operating mechanisms. If it is a petrol engine, there will be a spark plug. If it is a diesel engine, there will be a fuel injector. Okay, so these are the different parts of an engine. Now we have to study in detail about each and every part and different types that can be used and what is the material that it has to be made of. Okay, so in the coming concepts we will be studying about. So first we will start with the cylinder. So what is cylinder? Cylinder is the main body of an engine in which piston reciprocates to develop power. We have seen in the earlier animation, cylinder is a block in which the piston moves up and down. Okay, inside the cylinder only the fuel can be drawn and where actually the combustion takes place. So that structure is called as cylinder. The cylinder material should be such that it should sustain very high temperatures, okay, of the order of around 3000 degrees centigrade. Okay, you have to use certain alloys which can, or materials which can withstand a temperature of in the range of 3000 degrees centigrade, and even at that temperature also it should not have good amount of wear and tear. Okay, it should not get weared out. When the piston is constantly moving up and down, even though there is a lubricant, there will be some amount of friction. Okay, at higher temperature the material should not become soft and it should not become weared out. Okay, so you can see a sketch of a cylinder block. Okay, so this is called a cylinder block. Inside that there are 4 cylinders. Usually we find 3 or 4 cylinders in cars. Usually in trucks it will be a 6-cylinder engine. This entire assembly is called as a cylinder block. Okay, inside the cylinder block there will be number of cylinders. Okay, for each cylinder there will be one piston arranged. Okay, so if the cylinder block and crankcase made integral, then the arrangement is called as monoblock. Usually monoblock arrangements only will be done. Monoblock means inside a single block all 4 cylinders will be there, all 4 pistons will be placed in individual cylinders. Okay, so generally the materials used for cylinder block are gray cast iron and aluminium alloys. Okay, so why these materials are usually chosen? They can sustain the wear and tear at very high temperatures, and at very high temperatures they don't lose its properties. Okay, that is why these materials are chosen. Usually cast iron or aluminium blocks are used. Okay, just you can note down the important points.
So next page, sir.
Yes, please. Are you following?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. Next, how these cylinders can be arranged, okay, in various types. Okay, so usually we use multi-cylinder engines only. Okay, apart from two-wheelers or motorcycles, usually multi-cylinder engines. Okay, that is number of cylinders will be more than one. If you just go through any car brochure, okay, you can see usually it will be either 3-cylinder for very small compact cars, and it will be 4 cylinders for bigger cars. Okay, so usually it will be multi-cylinder arrangements. So multi-cylinder engines are preferred over single cylinder for better performance, better power output, okay, etc. You can arrange the cylinders in various fashions. Okay, the top most four preferred are, the first one is inline cylinder arrangement, second one is opposed cylinder arrangement type, third one is V engine, and fourth one is radial engine. Now we have to discuss about these arrangements in detail. Please make a note, one by one we will take up and we will just discuss how the arrangement will be. I have downloaded few animations also so that I can make you understand in a better way. Okay, please make a note.
Done, sir.
Okay. The first one is the inline arrangement. Okay. In this type of arrangement, a number of cylinders are arranged inline. Okay, side by side. That is, they are placed side by side vertically with a common crankshaft. So this is a common crankshaft used. The function of crankshaft, how it works, we will discuss in the upcoming slides. Okay. There will be a common crankshaft, and all the cylinders will be placed one after the other. So this is the common and most popularly used type of arrangements. Okay, any truck or car we see, usually inline arrangement will be there. A common block will be there, out of which there will be 4 cylinders. 1 second, please. So this sketch demonstrates the inline arrangements. Okay, on a horizontal axis, all the 4 cylinders will be placed. Okay, so this is called as inline arrangement. Just take down a rough sketch. I have just selected a simplest possible one from the textbook, so that easily you can draw in the exam. Okay, take down a rough sketch. Take down, so that we will go to the next mechanism. Okay, shall we move to the next?
Yes, sir.
The next is the opposed cylinder. Okay, here 2 cylinders are arranged horizontally opposite to each other, and again a same crankshaft is used. There is no question of different. Okay. In this type, the reciprocating parts are balanced. So balancing of the reciprocating masses. Okay, maybe in COM you may know, in DOM you will be studying, so that balancing issues will not be there. But the problem is it's a bit complicated design. Okay, so it is called as opposed cylinder type because 2 cylinders are placed opposite to each other. Okay, and the working mechanism you can see through this animation, so that you can easily understand. But for the exam point of view, you can draw the sketch. It's a much simpler. This is the center portion, crankshaft. So here cylinder 1 is there, cylinder 2. The piston reciprocates inside that. So this crankshaft keeps on getting the power. Okay. So please make a note of the rough sketch. Okay. I think it is completed. We'll move to the third one. It is V engine. Okay. So usually the two cylinders are placed at an angle of 60 degrees. Okay. In this type of arrangement, two cylinders are placed with their axis at 60 degrees. It is more compact. Okay. Usually it is used in racing cars. Okay. Very compact engine at a lower weight can give out very high power, so that the engine runs very smoothly at higher speeds. So usually in racing vehicles, it is used. Okay. You can take down the sketch. Meanwhile, you can see the operation principle here, how it works. Usually it will be of double silencer type, wherein each engine has a different exhaust. Common exhaust pipeline will not be there. Okay. So since the cylinders look in the shape of V when they are assembled, it is called as a V engine. The two cylinders with their axis at 60 degrees are placed. Please make a note of it. I think it is done.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, please take down.
Done, sir.
Okay. Next, radial engine. So as the name itself suggests, you can just see across the radius of a circle, number of cylinders will be placed. So this concept is called as a radial engine. How it works, you can clearly see. Again, there is a the mechanism can be seen very clearly. So number of cylinders are arranged in radial fashion across the radius of a circle with a common crankshaft. Only one crankshaft will be there, but connecting rods, one connecting rod per cylinder as usually, per piston. Okay. Next, the number of cylinders will be in odd numbers to balance the mass. Okay, it will be either 5, 7 or 9. Okay. This kind is usually used in aircraft engines. Okay. So when the number of cylinders are more, you can get more amount of power in a very compact place. If you make it inline, just imagine 9 cylinders inline, the structure becomes very huge. Okay, to reduce and make it more compact, this mechanism can be used. You can just take down a rough sketch. There is a common crankshaft here. You can see these are the connecting rods for the piston. So this sketch shows you a 5-cylinder engine. It can be either 7, right, or it can be 9 or so on. Usually it will be in terms of odd numbers. You can, in this sketch, you can see a 5-cylinder, but in the animation you can see a 7-cylinder engine, how it works, right? So whatever the block hits, you can see, so that cylinder will be firing at that moment. It will be coming in a regular interval. Okay, in a very compact structure, you can produce very huge power. Okay, so this part is the connecting rod, right? So please take down a rough sketch. So far we have discussed about the working of petrol and diesel engine, and we have started with the study of different components of a diesel engine. In that, the first and foremost important component is the cylinder, right? Then we have discussed about what material can be used for building up a cylinder. and there are 4 important arrangements of cylinder. So we have discussed them in detail. Okay. So the first type that we discussed is inline cylinder arrangement. Second is the opposed cylinder. Third is the V engine, and fourth is the radial engine. So depending on the application, we can choose any suitable type of engine. Please take down the sketch.